They said Gucci Mane isn't really Gucci Mane. That's Hobson. They gave him plastic surgery to become Gucci Mane. And now they saying Damar Hamlin isn't Damar Hamlin. And if you ever watched the TV show The Boys, you know about Noir. You know how Noir died, but they had somebody else come back to play him.
Get in here, because this whole situation just flipped into something wild. So these whispers about Gucci Mane being cloned aren't just internet chaos anymore. Kanye West just jumped in and dropped so-called inside info that's got everyone's jaw on the floor. He's out here claiming the real Gucci passed away years ago while locked up, and the version we see today is some secret replacement. And according to this story, Kesha isn't just his partner. She's supposedly a full-time handler keeping the clone in line, making sure he stays quiet and controlled. No wonder people keep pointing out how she runs his socials and always stays on top of what he says. Gucci's ex, Mac Breezy, and even Nicki Minaj tried screaming these warnings ages ago, but everyone brushed them off like they were just stirring drama. But now folks are looking back like, hold up, were they actually telling the truth? This whole situation has turned into a straight-up movie. Everything traces back to 2013, when Gucci had that legendary Twitter meltdown that shook the whole timeline. This man was firing shots at everybody, except the plug, who kept feeding him the stuff he admitted he was taking. He was dragging names left and right, coming for Yo Gotti, Nicki Minaj, Waka Flocka, T.I., Angela Yee, A$AP Rocky, French Montana, Tyga, Birdman, and Black China. Nobody was safe from that whirlwind of chaos. Every post he dropped made the scene messier, like he was just unloading years of frustration in real time.
And for about 8 years now. It started around around Illmind 5 when that came out, because the song was so big, and then they told me I had to kind of sacrifice something. They said you're gonna have to pay it back because he just put this information out there, and this is gonna put people in the wrong mindset of what we're trying to do in society. So they told me that if I don't do these list of things, then they're going to hurt my family. And it was like an all white room, and they opened one of the doors, and it had a Gucci suit. A Gucci bodysuit. And I said, oh no, please don't tell me that is what I think it is. They said, yeah.
He even kicked Waka out of Brick Squad, saying Waka wasn't loyal anymore. Then he threw out some wild claims, saying he and his crew messed around with Nicki and Angela Yee and accusing Yo Gotti of being fake and copying his whole vibe. He wasn't letting a single soul breathe during that meltdown. The list of names he dragged was long enough to fill a whole documentary. Not long after everything blew up online, Gucci ended up getting arrested, and that's when the cloning rumors really exploded. The police said they pulled up after getting calls that he was out in traffic acting wild and threatening people, like he wasn't worried about anything. When officers approached him, he even tried to rush at them, according to the reports, before they finally got him under control and locked him up. From that moment on, folks started insisting that whatever version of Gucci came out afterward wasn't the same guy, and the internet built an entire legend out of the story, one that's still being dragged around today. When they finally searched him, that's when officers said they found hard substances on him along with a firearm, and that discovery pushed everything over the edge. This wasn't even his first time dealing with the law, but this was the case that really locked his future in place and sent him straight to prison. Before all this went down, he had already been arrested for allegedly hitting a man in the head with a champagne bottle inside an Atlanta nightclub, so the courts already saw him as someone who kept getting into trouble. So when it came time to stand before the judge, it was pretty clear they were done giving warnings. They decided he needed real time behind bars to slow down and get himself together. The judge handed him 3 years and 3 months, but Gucci only served about 2 years because he earned credit and showed good behavior while inside. That's the official story the world was told. That prison is where he finally got serious about changing his life. But whether that story is fully real or just polished for the public, that's where people start raising eyebrows. According to the version we were given, Gucci used his time in jail to flip his entire mindset. He admitted the reason he used to act out was because he was always high on lean, and he blamed a lot of his chaos on that dependency. He even opened up about waking up in a hospital bed and finally seeing how out of control things had become.
Cause girl, you don't even know the real Gucci. Y'all think y'all know the real Gucci. Y'all don't know the real Gucci. That nigga parading around out here, that ain't the real Gucci, man. That's not him. I don't know what the fuck, honestly. Like, last time I seen Gucci was at Patchwork Studio in 2010. Cold Blooded was there Was Mojo there? Yeah, I think Mojo, Cold Blooded. Like, that's the last time I saw Gucci in the flesh, but even that was...
He released a message saying, "Woke up the other day out of this hospital bed, and I'm so embarrassed and ashamed of my behavior that was brought to my attention. I just want to man up right now and take this time to apologize to my family, friends, the industry, and most of all, my fans." That apology was supposed to be the big turning point, the moment where Gucci admitted everything, took accountability, and tried to rebuild his image. But the way the internet sees it now, not everyone believes that this whole changed man storyline is as simple as it was made to look. He kept opening up even more, saying, "I'm sorry. I've been drinking lean for 10 plus years, and I must admit it has destroyed me. I want to be the first rapper to admit it. I'm addicted to lean, and that stuff ain't no joke. I can barely remember all the things I've done and said. However, there's no excuse. I'm currently incarcerated, but I will be going to rehab because I need help. I want to thank everyone who has stood by me during this difficult time. Please keep me in your prayers." That message had the whole industry shook because nobody expected him to confess like that. So when he finally got released, he wasn't just sober. He was detoxed, toned up, focused, and sounding like a completely different version of himself. His voice changed, his face slimmed down. Even the way he moved felt different to people who had followed him for years. And that right there is the moment the clone rumors came crashing back like a tidal wave. Folks started saying the real Gucci didn't make it out of prison, and the person walking free was a replacement meant to cover something bigger. It didn't matter how wild it sounded. People were eating it up. Then things got even more messy when he married Kesha right after getting out. The internet was watching every move she made, and people started saying she basically took full control of his life. She's still the one running his social media to this day, making sure every post, every caption, every message sounds clean and polished. People claim she manages his schedule, his interviews, and exactly what he shares with the world. And some folks even said she was the one making sure he stayed on whatever medication he needed. The whole vibe had people whispering that she wasn't acting like a supportive partner. They were calling her a straight-up handler, and fans didn't waste a second pointing it out.
Yeah, free Gucci. You thinking? What I'm thinking? Man, something ain't right. Gucci, is you in there? It's so blank twice. Wait.
Every time Gucci would speak, she'd swoop in with corrections. Every time he posted something a little off, it would vanish, and people started saying it felt like she was guarding him more than loving him. That's when the conspiracy side of the internet started yelling louder than ever, claiming something wasn't adding up, and this new version of Gucci moved too different to be the same man who went into prison. Recently, things got even louder when Nicki Minaj snapped on Kesha after Kesha mentioned her during a Breakfast Club interview, and Nicki threw gasoline on the whole situation without even trying. She came out swinging, saying, "Gucci wife has been trying to be me for years, been dying for the spotlight for years. She's there to keep Gucci sedated." That one line had the whole internet losing it because Nicki basically hinted that Kesha wasn't there out of love. She was there to keep him quiet and spend his money. The moment Nicki said that, people were like, wait, so she sees it too? But these rumors didn't start with Nicki. They had been floating around way before her. But hearing her of all people echo the same vibe made the conspiracy hit a whole new level. Nicki is someone who doesn't speak on stuff unless she really wants to make a point, so fans took that as a major signal that something in this story wasn't as clean as it looked. Suddenly, everyone was digging up old posts, old interviews, old videos, trying to match the pieces again. Then a year ago, Gucci's ex Mac Breezy stepped into the spotlight with some of the wildest claims yet. She straight up said she believed Gucci didn't make it out of prison and that whoever came home was a clone version of him. According to her, the first time she saw him after he was released, she knew something wasn't right because he didn't move like the man she used to date. She said his whole presence felt off, like the energy she remembered was gone. And she couldn't shake the feeling that this wasn't the same person she once knew. But what made her story even more suspicious was how Keisha reacted every time Mac tried to talk to Gucci. Mac said Keisha would get super protective, jumping into the conversation before she could even get comfortable. It was like she didn't want them talking for too long, almost like Mac might figure something out if she got too close. That behavior had Mac convinced that whatever version of Gucci she was speaking to wasn't the real one, and Kesha was guarding him like she was hiding a secret. But even all that wasn't enough, because after Nicki aired Kesha out and called her Gucci's handler, Mac Breezy slid right back into the spotlight to double down like she'd been waiting for that moment. This time, she didn't just talk, she dropped a whole song demanding that the real Gucci's body be released. saying loud and clear that something was seriously off and that Kesha was hiding way more than she pretended to. The internet went wild because nobody expected her to take it that far. Gucci eventually addressed the clone rumors himself, but even that didn't calm the streets down. He tried to explain the changes, saying, "In a way, I feel like I kinda morphed into a different person. Shedding some of my old ways, I can say I grew up. I love the person I was. I love the person I am, and I love the person I grew to be. I tried to lose weight. I tried to take care of myself, change my thinking, my environment, and the ones that weren't benefiting me. Guess that's the transformation everybody's saying they can't believe, but I can believe it." He said it with confidence, but people were still looking at him sideways like, yeah, but something still ain't adding up. His whole vibe was different, and folks weren't letting the conversation die just because he gave a polished answer. And then, right when the story looked like it couldn't get more chaotic, Kanye West jumped in and hinted that Gucci really was a clone. Kanye has thrown out plenty of wild accusations over the years, but people took him seriously this time because the timing was too perfect and lined up with everything the internet had already been whispering. And the way he delivered it had fans like, oh, he's not playing around with this one. People even remembered how back in the day, some believed Kanye himself got cloned. That rumor was everywhere. Folks said the industry tried to replace him but couldn't fully pull it off. And that's why he supposedly knows the signs and can spot when someone else has been switched. So when he hinted that Gucci wasn't the same man who went into prison, the whole conversation exploded all over again. Fans were suddenly talking about body language, voice changes, mannerisms, even how his smile looked different, anything they could point to as proof. And with Kanye stirring the pot, people felt like he was confirming something he had seen firsthand, like he was saying, "Trust me, I know what I'm talking about." Everything started spinning out of control once again, and now the clone rumor isn't just a random internet theory. It's a full-on cultural conversation that refuses to die. And let's not forget when the rapper Hopsin got on IG Live and straight up claimed that certain industry elites pressured him into acting like Gucci's clone, saying they threatened his family if he didn't play along. At the time, folks brushed it off as him trolling or chasing the joke. But with everything Kanye has been hinting at, and all the strange switches in Gucci's whole vibe since he got out of prison, people are now looking back at Hopsin like he might have been dropping some real tea the whole time. As usual, everyone online had their own theories, and some of those comments were wild. One person said, "We don't even see his eyes anymore. He had a particular color of brown to his eyes. They make him wear shades all the time now." People were analyzing his eyes like detectives, saying the new version of him didn't match the old one at all. Then another person chimed in saying, "I remember that's not him and we all know it. Something is definitely off, and it's hard to ignore. If he's not a clone, then maybe it's the medication or he got laced or something, but something is definitely off." That comment had everyone talking because even the people who didn't believe in clones were admitting Gucci's whole energy felt different in a way they couldn't explain. And now with Kanye stirring things up again, people are acting like they've been waiting for someone big to back up what they've been thinking this whole time. Kanye talking about clones hit way harder because of his own history and the way people once believed he got replaced too. So when he pointed toward Gucci, it made folks feel like he was speaking from experience instead of imagination. So now I really want to hear from you. What do you think about Kanye exposing this clone situation? Do you actually think Gucci was taken out and replaced? Or do you think people are just reading too deep into his transformation? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this whole story is wild and it keeps getting wilder. And hey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more messy breakdowns just like this.